Hi, welcome to the White Guy Show. I'm Whitey. This is Cracker. And today we're going to review the film Twister that came out in somewhere.
95.
95,
Sure.
93, 5. Oh, yeah, about 95.
Yeah, sounds all right.
Directed by.
Jan DeBont. He did Speed.
Oh, it is a dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he also did Speed 2.
Yeah, he actually has a pretty good repertoire of like action movies.
But I really enjoy Speed.
Yeah. Who was all in this?
Bill Paxton. Helen Hunt. What the fuck is his name?
Cary Elwes.
Cary Elwes. The fuck is his name?
Jake Busey?
No, the fuckhead who's dead now. He won an Academy Award for Capote. God damn it. Anyways, that guy. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, but what the.
I know it's
Did we both have strokes?
I think so.
Like, seriously.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Christ almighty, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I need to go to seek medical attention.
So we got.
Do you taste copper?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, it might not be dead yet. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
And the dude that played Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off was also in it.
Yes, whose name is.
Who cares? I put my phone away. I'm not looking. I don't give a shit.
Also, Young Guns 2 fame.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, who cares?
He
was also in Speed, directed by Jan DeBont.
William Henry French. So, Twister is a film about a bunch of tornado chasers who are going to chase down not one, but a multitude of twisters, which the moment they say that, you're like, but that doesn't happen. That can't happen.
But they also have a new type of technology that they want to get into the twister so they can see how it's
so what they're trying to
like
do is
that.
they have a bunch of little sensor deals, and again, this is the 90s, so it's just like, we needed this. And you have to get the twister to suck up all these little doodads, and then you can understand tornadoes. It'll increase detection times so that they can save lives. And that's the one part where it's like, okay, that makes sense. And then there's the rest of the movie. And so as they get going, so Bill Paxton and Helen.
First off, what did you think of Twister?
Oh, it's ass. Oh, this movie's horrifying. This is.
Can you guess how I'm going to answer that?
You loved it.
I really liked it.
Fucking hell. This is the worst. This is one of the stupidest movies that ever was ever
I didn't
made.
love it.
Absolutely. It wasn't. There was nothing wrong, like with the filmmaking. It looks fine. There's nothing wrong exactly with performances. It's just nothing. Everything is so ridiculously absurd, where it's just like, look out, there's a cow. Oh, I can touch him.
Oh yeah, Jamie Gertz.
Hold on.
From Lost Boys.
The cow is flying through the air. I weigh less than the cow. I can touch the cow, but I am not flying through the air. Science, and it's a science film. So that's the thing. They're like, wow, this is a C3 tornado with a thing. And it's like, but the house is flying, but your truck isn't.
Right.
In a science movie. And then I did a review of this with Joe, and I was like, I compared it to Jurassic Park. It's like Jurassic Park is equally ludicrous from a science perspective. You can't bring back dinosaurs with mitochondrial DNA. But they base the story like the physics are believable. You're running from the T-Rex, and that T-Rex would catch that Jeep. Okay. Because he can't get out of gear. So everything, like the premise is pretty absurd, but they play it in a realistic way. This movie, it's like, oh, the house is flying, but I'm not.
It's fun.
And then it's like all these tornadoes are happening one after the next, like never at all.
It's a great
all
movie.
In the same day. But that's not a big deal, because you can just be like, sure, and go with it, or drink. The whole thing is like when the Mighty Duck Iceland team pulls up with Cary Elwes in their black trucks, and it's like, here's the good guy storm chasers and here's the bad guy storm chasers, and you're like,
I like seeing the Cary Elwes as a bad guy.
Bad guy storm chasers.
So who do we get for to be the bad guy? We get Wesley from The Princess Bride.
Yeah,
or Robin Hood.
And then he's like getting sucked up in the tornado, and he's like, "As you wish."
I wish they would have put. If they put that in the film, you would have loved it.
I would have been like, "Fuck that! The movie was great."
You know what that is? That's like the bologna sandwich in Troll 2 for you.
The toxins, the carbohydrates.
You know what?
Troll 2, if you're familiar.
Here's the thing. And then you have the side plot of when they're not chasing the tornadoes. You have the side plot of Bill Paxton getting married to Jamie Gertz, but he's still technically married to Helen Hunt.
As the film begins, you actually start out with seeing a farmer trying to get his family underground, and he gets sucked up in a tornado. And then
that was a cool effect.
Yeah. So, and again, the film looked fine. So the next thing you see is Bill Paxton pulls up to the storm chasers as they're getting all set up, and he and Helen Hunt were married. They need to get divorced. He needs her to sign a couple things on the paperwork that she forgot, and he's got his current fiance or whatever, who is Jamie Gertz. Who's
smoking.
Sorry, not for kids.
Yeah, like
hot. And it's like, Bill Paxton, I love you, Bill. You're great. But he's got Helen Hunt or Jamie. It's like,
they're both very pretty,
very attractive human beings. So he needs to get the paperwork signed, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, Bill, it's good to have you back." He's like, "I'm not back," and it's like, "You're back."
Yeah.
You can end up on this story. So as he's trying to get the paperwork signed, they end up chasing the first tornado or some such. Her truck gets totaled. So he's like, "All right, fine, we'll use my truck," because he built. We were talking about the detection stuff that pulls up the sensors. It's his design. So while I don't know if they explained, he quit to go to another profession.
He's going to be like a weatherman.
Weatherman, no.
Like he says he's not a weatherman. He says he's like a meteorologist.
But this is his design. So it's like, okay, but I need to see this, work. So it's like, okay, your motivations are fine. That's why everybody ended up. And then Jamie Gertz is the fish out of water. She's a psychologist,
like a sex therapist or a relationship therapist, something like that.
And so it works fine because they have to be, and this is the flippity floppity flu, and that's the widget. So we need to put the flu in the widget. And then the audience is like, oh, okay. Now I see what you're doing.
But see, people like me who don't give a shit about science, we're just going to go with it.
It was all just words. It was just words. But still, they're like, when they're like, we got to watch out because of this. It's like, okay, thank you, Jamie Gertz, for that. But that all makes sense. It was the whole. I was watching this movie because I saw it in junior high, and I was like pulling my face off. And then I was watching it again, and I was watching the first 20 minutes, and I'm like, people like Philip Seymour Hoffman, who I didn't recognize. Now I'm like, and some of these guys started out here and became big. So I'm like, Philip Seymour Hoffman's in this? Oh, this movie isn't too bad.
He's actually really fun in this movie. He's like a stoner beach bum.
So the whole time I'm like, why didn't I like this? And then I see the bad guy trucks pull up in the black trucks. I'm like, that's why I didn't like this.
And you can tell they're bad guys because the scene where the good guys are chasing the tornado, and then just out of nowhere they're cut off by the bad guys coming out of the cornfield.
And so that's so over the top. And then they're like, they took corporate funding. If it saves lives, why does that matter?
They look like they're driving black FBI vans.
Yeah. So it's like it's the Mighty Ducks. You got the guys in the black uniforms from Iceland. And they're like, we're going to beat up the Mighty Ducks. And I'm just like, one of the fuck. Storm chasers are all pot smoking hippies. There is no bad guy storm chasers. And it's just so out of place. And then, but again, if he was like, as you, it'd have been fine. It would have been fine.
Basically, the only thing you hate about this film is Carrie Elway's death. The rest of it you love.
The rest of it is.
What about the part where they're driving through and the house is literally tumbling?
That's what I'm saying.
And they have to drive through. They drive through
the window. It looks like we're going through the kitchen. Where are we going? Oh!
They drive up the stairs
and then they're fine.
What about the part when they have to take refuge in the barn and the tornado is coming their way, so they tie themselves to this giant pipe? And they actually get sucked through the middle of the tornado, and they don't get torn apart.
Where I shat my pants. That was the final, oh my God. And it's just like, oh, and then they're like, wow, this is great. And then the other person's like, isn't it though? And it's like, you can hear each other. You're in the center of a tornado, and you can hear anything that's going on.
Physics.
And your body hasn't been ripped into a multitude of pieces.
That's because they were safely secured by a leather strap to a metal pipe in the ground.
And then I was watching the show. I was like, well, that pipe goes 30 feet into the ground. I'm like, that's not the point, Joe. The point is the whole.
So did your brother enjoy the film too?
He loved it. I don't remember what it was.
I like this guy already.
As a younger man, I think he loved it. And as an older man, I don't remember. But
you're still numb.
And then he saw it in theaters. I saw it in the class.
I saw it in theaters. Yeah.
So it's like in theaters. I'm sure it was more impressive.
It was very cool.
Sound and everything. So I'm sure visually it's great. I'm sure. And at the time, you didn't see cows flying through the air at the time. And then there's the point where they're at the theater, and then the screen gets pulled up, and so you got Jack Nicholson. Here's Johnny up in the project up, and so visually there's some great visuals and some great visual ideas.
Yeah, Jan DeBont, he was really good directing.
And then and then they pull up in the black truck, and it was like the bad guys. Oh my god!
This basically was Speed, but with tornadoes.
Yeah, equally stupid movie.
You didn't like Speed either? Jesus Christ!
I was more okay with Speed because
Keanu Reeves.
Well, no, what was happening made more sense. But so at the very end, it's just like you're not dead because
the leather strap.
The building around you, which is stronger than your body is, got ripped to shreds, but you're okay, and you're in the same spot. So the wind velocities are identical, and the shroud. And then she walks out and her hair's fine. And she's like, oh, I need to put a little lipstick. It's like you were in the center of a tornado.
Yeah, because
you're in one piece and you look great. And it's just like, what the fuck?
You know what the saddest part of this film, though, is the whole Jamie Gertz character. Because when you find out right away that Helen Hunt forgot to sign the divorce papers, I don't fucking know. It's like our thing now. When Helen Hunt forgot to sign the divorce papers in just the right. Well, you knew right away. Jamie Gertz, sorry, he's going to fucking stay with Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
And then Philip Seymour Hoffman doesn't.
Oh, he's fucking creepy towards her. He's always like, right behind her, creeping up on her.
And then some of the interplay between the characters, they're goofy.
They have good chemistry. I love it when
a quirky bunch of scientific people.
Ferris Bueller guy and ugly guy
are
arguing about
Alan Rock.
It sounds about right.
I got that about right.
Okay, Alan Rock, we'll just say, and ugly guy from. It's not Alan Rickman.
I put a question mark on that.
You got Ferris Bueller arguing with the ugly guy from People Under the Stairs about don't fold the maps, roll the maps because there's like a crease across like some town. That was funny banter.
Yeah, keep going.
But yeah, I loved. One of my favorite parts is when they have to go to Helen Hunt's mom's house for food. And I just love the fact that she's been like taking care of all these people for years and years. Mm-hmm. She's a likable character as well.
The interplay, the characters were goofy.
I like the scene where her house is destroyed by the tornado and they have to pull her out by like climbing up the wreckage.
Young Guns 2 only got a 35 on Rotten Tomatoes. Fuck that. Put a movie. I thought this is the tornado that killed nobody except Gary Owens and the guy from Fight Club.
Meatloaf?
What?
Guy from Fight Club.
You remember the scene where dude walks into the office and punches his own face?
Edward Norton?
Yeah, his boss.
Oh, who cares?
Was the guy who got impaled by the thing sitting next to Gary Owens.
That dude,
it's
okay.
The same dude, Zach.
Gotcha. I had fun with Twister. Don't listen to him.
I don't know, man.
Who cares what the guy's name was?
Breaking my balls. But and then Helen Hunt had the nice white shirt on the whole time and is running.
And then it got wet and dirty.
Running everywhere she had to go, and I'm just like, there's some good choices in this movie. Alan Ruck, yeah, R-U-C-K.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had good banter with ugly face guy from People Under the Stairs.
Yeah, casting was fine, acting was fine. It's just like
I like
just,
how
you know,
Philip Seymour Hoffman's driving to chase the tornado, and he's listening to like Van Halen, and then you cut to the other couple who were like the sciencey couple, and they're
And
listening to like Beethoven or something
my
like that.
only lament was a lot of the actors who were the bad guys. I like those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of them, like who would I just say? It was
Carrie Always.
Busey, Jake Busey.
Jake Busey was in it?
Yeah, he's got such a small role.
Really?
You got to look for him.
Okay.
He's got like 2 lines, and he's in the back. He's like, whatever, Carrie Always. He's like, Carrie Always, we got a something. He's looking at a monitor.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, is that Jake fucking Busey? And you got to look up. He's there. But
Okay.
it's like, give me 10 more minutes with those guys, and I'll, and some more floppy titties. I'm all right.
As you wish.
As you wish.
I'm surprised like the Nostalgia Critic hasn't done that yet.
We did it here first on the Whitey the White Guy show.
Yes, trademark.
Yeah, it's copywritten as soon as we get it uploaded.
Upload this.
Anything else to add?
I highly recommend
For
Twister.
their tremendous, well-crafted classic that made so much fucking sense.
Good soundtrack.
It wasn't. I don't know. Helen Hunt looked hot.
So did Jamie Gertz.
Oh yeah.
And it had Bill Paxton.
Yeah, I like everybody.
Well, there you go. See.
It just. Yeah, so that's it for the White White Guy show.
Like, subscribe, go watch Twister.
Go watch Twisted. Good journey.
Good journey.